We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
What's up, my dudes? How's it going today? Dakblake here, and today we're going to be talking about how I broke my nose. Now, this is a life story, and I'm sorry for being gone for like a week or so. Got stuff to do, got college applications, yada yada yada. Okay, so this is a life story, and I'm kind of going back to the basics of what I used to film. I'm putting, Call of Duty gameplay behind this. What? Yeah, woohoo! Yeah, so this is a story, okay? This all began when I was in Judo. I was kind of a mediocre, person in Judo at first. So this is how I got into it. I was kind of like an introvert kind of thing. So my mom wanted me to put me into this, like, at least a new program or something that I can do while not being at home playing video games all day. But yeah, so she entered me into this Judo thing. And so on the first day, they made me, like, do some judo, wrestle with some people, see what I got. And so this was a time to release all of the anger I've had over the years. And so they had some kids and they were in there for, like, maybe a couple weeks or so. They're like, hey, go up against them. They're not much better than you, probably. And so I started wrestling, and boom, got him in headlocks, got him in all these things. And I was doing amazing. Immediately, this we call him the sensei. And we'd be like, oh, he was all like, yeah, your kid, to my mom, your kid is really good, blah, 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 blah. And so I was entered, got like this judo gi, everything, I was excited. And so I did this for like maybe a year or two. And so I was only like, I think like 12 or something like that, 12, 13, 14, I don't know, something around there. I think it was like 6th grade, so it was like 13 or 14. And so, yeah, so I was in this judo thing for about a year or so, and I was winning tournaments. Like, I was winning first place. I every single tournament I went to, first place. Judo tournaments are pretty, like, easy. All you have to do is face, like, 2 people, and then, like, hey, if you win those 2 people, you won out of the 3, so, oh, you're first. Yeah, so it was really cool. I had all these first place trophies, and then one day, I went in to go to judo practice. And so I had I was only a yellow belt. Like, this is like the first belt after your white belt or whatever it is. And that's because I was only there for a year. And so I was about to get orange belt, which is like the next level up, and you had to be there for a year, prove that you were good enough, and I was good enough. And so yeah, I was practicing. We started, doing our warm-ups and stuff. And usually this is how it works. You do warm-ups, you start wrestling people, and then in the end, he teaches you a new, like, technique. And so we were just in the stage of warming up. So you have to do leapfrogs around people. This is kind of like getting your conditioning going. So I was doing leapfrogs over people. Then after that, we got a partner, and we started, like, practicing throws. Then we got into lines, like a big line in the room, and then started running back and forth. Boom, one end. And so this is when you start getting, like, pretty tired. And so then we get to the point where you have to do rolls. So you have to roll forward, land kind of like on your knees and slap the ground. It's kind of weird, like, saying it now, but it was called something. I don't know, but it was like you roll, slap the ground, get up, roll, slap the ground. And so I was doing this, and there was this new guy. And so I was rolling. I get to the end, and I'm about to roll back, and this kid thinks, hey, all I have to do is run to the end of the room with my rolls, and then I get to run back. You have to roll forward and backwards. And so I was rolling. This kid gets up and then starts running. He didn't run right as well. So instead of running on the side of the room all the way back to the front of the room, he ran right through the middle of everybody running. And right as he ran, he was like, because you have to stand up and do these rolls. I was standing up, rolling, and he ran right in front of me. And as I was coming down, my face landed on his knee as it was coming up. So my face going down, his knee coming up, my head whiplash, boom, just hit back. If you can hear that clap. It just hit back. It whiplashed back, hit my nose, and I was laying on the floor. And what I remember is a big, like, ee sound. And I was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? My eyes, it was like they were rolling in my head. And everything was blurry. And so I look down on the ground, and I see, oh, there's a drop of blood on the floor. Dang, I think I got a bloody nose. And so I look, I like try to wipe it up, and it starts dripping on my hand, dripping, 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 and now it's like kind of like gushing out. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I stand up, I'm like, I think I have a bloody nose. I walk up to the two senseis, and they're walking up there, and there's this one like medical guy. He doesn't really do much because nobody really gets hurt, but he's standing there. He looks at me and gets like the most scared face. Like that doesn't help if you look at a guy who just got hit. Like, oh, you look at him scared, it'll calm him down. So I was getting kind of freaked out. He looked at me and held my head and looked around my head, moving his head around mine, and he said, "Yeah, you're gonna have to go to the doctor." And so I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" And so my mom wasn't even in the room at the time. She was outside going to the bathroom. And so I'm gushing blood on the floor, and they're grabbing like giant wads of tissue and just holding it up to my nose, and they're getting soaked. I mean, they're full. Not like, oh, there's blotches of blood on the towel. The towel was soaking wet with blood. And my mom comes in, she freaks out. She's like, ah, what's going on? What happened? And so I don't even know what's going on right now. I think that, oh, I just got hit, the bloody nose. Oh, my mom's overreacting. She pulls my hand, and drags me into the car, and then I start to get really dizzy. Like, at this point, I don't feel any pain. Nothing. I get really dizzy, and I'm sitting in the car, and my mom drives home to get my dad. I don't know why we had to stop home, but my mom comes home to get my dad. We get into the car, and we drive to the hospital. And so when we get in, I was starting to almost fall. I was, like, delirious, and I didn't know what was going on. I sat down, and there was a mirror in the waiting room thing, and it was too scratchy so I didn't really get up to look at it, and so I was like, okay, I'll just wait for the waiting room. I was like really tired, and so we got into the waiting room, sat down on the little beds with paper on them. I sat down, looked over at the mirror, and saw my nose was literally like on my cheek, like it was pushed over on my cheek. The top of the nose was bent inwards. It was like somebody getting like a wad of tissue paper and then just smashing it with your other hand. It was like flat on my face, cracked. And I was like, because I didn't feel any pain. I was just like, whoa. And so, it was really scary. And so I started, then at that point, I started to like know what was going on to me, and I started feeling pain. So I was like, and so they laid me down on this girder thing. And I was like, what's good? And I started screaming because it hurt really bad. And so they had to give me these pain medication and stuff. And they were trying to like fix my nose, but nothing was going on. What I remember is I was going like in and out of consciousness, not knowing what was going on. I think they like cracked my nose back into place. But I was sitting there laying on the bed, and I was like freaking out because I was like, and my mom took pictures, but it was on her old phone. So, actually, I don't know. I don't think I have him anymore. But my nose was on my face, and I was laying there, and I realized, as I looked at my bracelet, it said April 1st, 2009. This is when this happened. I went in on April 1st, 2009. And, I looked at my bracelet, and I said, Mom, what would you do if this was an April Fool's joke? And she was like, I would kill you. But obviously, like, she knew that I wasn't because my nose was on the side of my face. So they said that I was going to need to get surgery. And so I had to go home, like, and they couldn't do anything. So, like, they could only give me medicine. So I ended up going home. And, yeah, I had to sit with, like, this makeshift cast on my nose. And I was out of school for, I think, a good 2 months. It was scary. And I remember one of my friends saying that my teachers would all say, like, we're all going to be hoping that, Dakota is going to be good in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And so I went to, like, I think, like, a month later to go get surgery on it. And, yeah, I remember just them putting the mask on my face. They said, count back from 10. I go, 10. And I just fall asleep immediately. And then I wake up, and really, really slow, though. It was a slow wake up. It's not like, oh, I'm awake. It was like, I'm trying to comprehend everything that's going on here. And like I was in this like doctor's like gown thing with like a hat thing for my hair, I don't know. And they said that they couldn't do anything, that I had a deviated septum, and so like they had to wait until I'm 18 so for my nose to fully grow before they start manipulating it. And so basically I don't have the sense of smell anymore. I have like no sense of smell except for when smells are really strong. So like really strong cologne You know, really bad smells or really good smells that are really strong. I can smell, but I've drank a lot of rotten milks at school, which is not good. So, moral of the story, always be very careful, because even you can break your nose doing warm-ups at judo. You would think, oh, judo, he probably got, like, kneed in the face from fighting. No. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I want you guys to go over to my Facebook page and start liking that. Yeah, like that, and follow me on Twitter, because, you know, sometimes I like to, hey, I'm gonna do a life story, which one should I do, blah, 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 and I have, like, a whole list, and so, I have, like, my whole life stories all planned out for you guys, but I want you guys to go like my Facebook page, so I'll put it in the description, and I'll put my Twitter in the description. I want you guys to go like that, like this video, subscribe if you're new, and please, tune in, you'll enjoy me. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out, my dudes.
Dakblake, 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 dakblake.